George Retes is a 25-year-old disabled Army veteran and a United States citizen. He works as a security guard at Glass House. That's a legal cannabis farm in Ventura County, California. And last Thursday, as you might have seen, federal immigration agents raided that farm. Masked, militarized agents descended on the area with what they call less than lethal weapons, which include rubber bullets and tear gas and the like, seemingly used indiscriminately against the crowd of workers and protesters who had shown up. Retes says he clearly identified himself as a citizen, but federal agents ignored him. They smashed the window of his car and dragged him out at gunpoint. The U.S. veteran then spent 3 days in detention without ever being charged with a crime. He was denied a phone call, legal representation, and medical care, despite being pepper sprayed and tear gassed during the raid. His family had no idea where he was or how to contact him.
I thought he was probably part of the protest, and he wasn't. He was trying to reverse his car. They broke his window, they pepper sprayed him, they grabbed him, threw him on the floor, they detained him. His wife's been trying to call and ask where he is. They don't know where he is. Apparently, no one associates with nobody. So now we don't know what to do. We're just asking to let my brother go. He's a U.S. citizen. He didn't do anything wrong. He's a veteran disabled citizen. It says it on his car.
George Retes was released on Sunday without being charged, and he joins me now. Ms. Retes, it's good to have you. Thank you so much for making some time for us.
Yes, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Let me just start. You've been released in detention. How you're doing physically? Are you physically okay after what happened?
I have a few scratches on me. I still have some OC on me. So sometimes when I rub my eye or something, I'll still have the burning effects. I'm cut up a little bit, but other than that, I'm pretty good. I still have yet to check on my my other injuries but besides that, that's it.
Will you first tell me just what it was like the moment when you realized what was happening at this farm? You work for a third-party contractor, you're a security guard at this farm. And just describe, did you realize when all these folks roll up that was ICE?
My first thoughts were just in shock. I was in disbelief that all this was happen. Honestly, I thought it wouldn't be a problem to go to work as long as I did nothing wrong, as long as I identified myself, who I was. And clearly it didn't matter if I was a citizen or if I was a veteran or if I identified who I was at all. It didn't matter to them.
Tell me about the moment when you're in your car amongst this chaos, when you actually get apprehended by ICE, and what you said to them.
When I was getting apprehended, then they were banging on my window to leave or to get out. There was multiple officers telling me to do different things. Some were telling me to keep reversing. Some were banging on my windshield to get out. And I was trying to tell them I'm leaving. I'll get out of here. I don't want any problems. I'm trying to reverse. I can't breathe because of the tear gas in my car. I can't reverse. I can't continue to reverse while there's protesters behind me, and you guys are banging on my window and just surrounding my car. And they didn't care. They continued to bang. They ignored everything I said, and they broke my window and they dragged me out.
Did you tell them you're a citizen?
I did. That was the first thing I mentioned when I pulled up to where they were all lined up. I got out my car, and that was the first thing I let them know was I'm a citizen. I'm just trying to go to work. I'm just trying to get to work.
Did you tell them you were a veteran?
I did. I also let them know that I was a veteran and I wasn't doing anything wrong, that I'm just trying to get to work. I'm not trying to protest them. I'm not trying to fight them. I'm just a man trying to get to work.
What happened once you got taken to detention? Explain what that situation was like for me.
They took us in a SUV, a blacked out SUV, and they took us to a downtown facility, or a facility in downtown LA, where we didn't get there probably till late at night, and they booked us and everything, and they threw us into a cell. They didn't care to check on any medical, like issues wrong with us. They didn't care about what happened to us or anything, or why we're even there. They just put us in a cell without anything, phone call, attorney, speaking to anyone. They just threw us in a cell.
And they just let you sit there for 3 days? I mean, like, there was no Miranda, there's no you're under arrest, there's no like, there's all these parts of process that happen if you get arrested for something that are required by the Constitution and by subsequent judicial opinions. You just sat in a cell for 3 days?
Yes, I sat in a cell for 3 days. I was in a normal cell the very first night. And Friday morning is when I went on suicide watch, and I was in a cell, and I was on suicide watch from Friday morning to the point where I was released.
The U.S. Attorney's Office, this is Tricia McLaughlin, she's a DHS statement. She says the U.S. Attorney's Office is currently reviewing his case along with those of several other individuals detained during the execution of the federal search warrant in Camarillo to determine whether federal charges are appropriate. Do you think you committed a crime?
I don't think a single crime was committed. I think the crime was committed by ICE and everyone who was there that day.
Did you get to talk to other people who were in that cell with you and figure out how they got there too?
Yeah, kind of. I was in the cell with one other person, and it was the teacher who was also arrested, the professor. And we just talked and were in disbelief and just shocked about everything that happened and the way we were being treated and just everything.
You obviously serve your country. You are a U.S. citizen. You have a job that you were going to. You got tear gassed. You got your window smashed. You got essentially physically assaulted. You got detained for 3 days without access to a lawyer. A lot of things that people take for granted as kind of rights. How do you feel about what happened to you?
I feel disappointed. I feel disappointed that I would go risk my life for this country, and who knows, maybe I could have died, and maybe who knows what could have happened. I mean, I made it back home, but that's not the case for anyone who serves, for everyone who serves. It's disappointing that this happens to anyone, whether they're a citizen, whether they're here as an immigrant. No one should be treated this way. No one should be treated this way.
That was my interview with George Retes earlier, an American citizen who was violently detained and held for 3 days, despite breaking no laws, despite the fact he's a citizen, just one of the many egregious, outrageous, devastating stories we see day in, day out throughout the country, as Donald Trump and Stephen Miller subject our friends and our neighbors to this new police state. That is all in on this Wednesday night. The briefing with Jen Psaki starts right now. Good evening, Jen.